is outstanding. I met Terry Lancaster, and she says, hey, we got a new executive director, and you know what I'm doing at the moment? I'm talking to Mike King here. Let's get who you are, what you do, and the elevator pitch for the Down Syndrome Association.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Jennifer Case, and I am the new executive director here at the Down Syndrome Association. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I've been working in the greater Richmond area for the last 15 years in a variety of nonprofit organizations. And I happen to have an 8-year-old son who has Down syndrome. His name is Braden, and he is the light of my life. And I've been connected to the Down Syndrome Association since before he was born, actually. I remember when our first call chair, Cynthia Lance, who's still our first call volunteer, called me and spoke to me after we had the prenatal diagnosis for our son. And so DSAGR is just near and dear to my heart and has been for over 8 years now. And so just really an honor and a privilege to get to serve in this capacity here at the Down Syndrome Association. You know, we are here to benefit the lives of individuals with Down syndrome and their families. And we do that through education. We do that through individual support, through family support. We do it through community awareness at amazing events like this. And we do it through advocacy for legislation and policies to benefit individuals with Down syndrome. And so I'm just really honored to be here and carry on the torch.
One of the things I always talk to people about, and this is on the mic with Mike here, and we always talk about the mission of the organization, but you understood the impact of it before. Because I asked, when I had Terry on and folks before, what was it like when you got the diagnosis? And they say, all right, the help shows up.
That's right.
The help shows up before, because your world gets turned upside down because you have an idea what's going to happen.
Yep.
And it's a whole new ball game.
That's exactly right.
And so now you're going out, you understand how the parent feels when they get the diagnosis that what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impactful. What's that feeling like when the person contacts you guys, or you contact them, and the next thing you know, they're going through all the things, and you can see when a light comes on that they sort of get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I remember, you know, to be honest, when I first got the diagnosis and we got some information about the Down Syndrome Association, and they said, we'll have somebody call you. And so they called me, and they asked, do you want to come to an event? Do you want to come meet some families? Do you want to want somebody to come out and visit? And I wasn't ready yet. And I said, you know, I don't know that I do yet. And they were so patient. There was no judgment. There was no pushing of, no, you need to do this right now. There was, okay, take your time, take your space, and we're here for you, and we'll check in on you. And then I was able to kind of have that space, but know there was a resource. And then when I was ready, I was able to call and say, okay, I am ready now. I need some help. And I had a mom who was a mentor volunteer, came out and visited me, and she brought she told me about, she had a teenage daughter at the time, and she told me all about her daughter and all the things she was doing. And that gave me so much hope, because you go through this process and you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know.
Right. And you, unfortunately, we also know what we hear and what we see. And that's why these community awareness part of what we do is so huge, because a lot of us grew up with these different perceptions of Down syndrome and this idea of what kids can and can't do. And it was a lot about their inabilities. And what we're here to say is there is so much ability, there is so much capability, and they belong, and they're important, and they have something to offer all of us. And that's been beautiful.
The thing is, and when you talk to them, as a person who's never been in that world before, and when I moved here, we moved to the Faison residence. That was the first time that me and my wife, and my wife is a nurse, that we ever had dealt with folks with developmental issues. And you got to see the real them.
Yes.
It's not the perceived idea.
Exactly.
You see, they got game.
That's exactly right.
And
exactly
so even
right.
here today. So, and really, Sarah was the first person. She came on the show, and instantly it clicked that, you know, hey, I'm a model. She's talked about Matt and the saxophone forever. I know him as a basketball star,
That's right.
and a guy, and you hear David, he comes on. So it's helping society understand that these people have abilities. It's not just that disability that we want to talk about.
Exactly right.
Let me ask you, So before the Down Syndrome Association, what was the draw to the nonprofit field?
Yeah, so I have just always
You were that kid too?
I
You
was,
went- you were
yeah,
that kid.
I have
The
always,
helper kid.
I was the helper kid. You know, I'm a first, well, I'm not the firstborn, but I'm the firstborn girl, which always says
That's the same thing.
makes you the firstborn. And I've always just had that desire to change the world. I've done things since I was a kid to be a part of making a difference. And so decided that meant social work and helping people. And I love it. It lights a fire in me.
Here, so it's on the mic with Mike. I always ask the tough question. I have one tough question per interview.
Okay.
Like this is, I'm not, Gail King, Leslie Stahl, any Anderson Cooper, real, hard journalists. Here's the question.
Okay.
Who saves the caregiver? Because you guys can't, you guys won't save yourself. You won't. Because you're going to continue to do what you do.
Yeah.
And even now where there's so much help that's needed.
Yeah.
There's so much, how do you keep from burning out and taking on, as social workers, you hear a lot.
That's right.
You take on a lot.
Yeah.
How does that not stick to you?
That's a great question. I think for me, what I have learned a lot about over the last 15 years is what does it really mean to do self-care? We hear that phrase, we throw it out, self-care, self-care. It's been around forever, right?
What is it? Just caught the buzz? It's
just caught a buzz, but I think we give it this idea that it's like, oh, take a bubble bath or maybe do this thing for yourself. But self-care really is about finding ways to restore your soul. And that's different for all of us. And so that might be exercise, it might be going on a walk, it might be going on a run, it might be doing some yoga or meditating, it might be painting, because that helps restore you. But for me, it's been finding out those things that give me back energy, because so much of our jobs take that energy and you can't give but to a point. If you're not filling yourself back up, you can't keep giving back out. And so it's making sure you prioritize it, like figuring out what fills your soul and prioritizing that in your life.
That's a tough one because, there's the next challenge that's tomorrow.
That's right.
And the next day.
Yep.
And the next day. So you stepped into the Down Syndrome Association. How do you keep an organization going that's successful and then take it to the next level? I mean, because right now you guys, everyone's out to get attention.
Yeah.
You have your development person who's out. There's only so many dollars to go around.
Yeah.
You got to be creative.
Yeah. Well, I think it is about being creative, and I think it's about pursuing opportunities that we haven't pursued before, and looking at other streams for funding. And I also think it's telling our story. Like you said, individuals with Down syndrome have so much to offer our world. And I think we need to showcase that. We need to tell their story because they belong and they have something to offer our community. And our community will be a more beautiful place when they all have a place of belonging at the table.
As a mom, what does an event like this make you feel like when you see the folks who are out there who are in their 30s or their 20s and dealing with life?
That's right.
And how does it make you feel as a mom?
Oh my gosh, it makes me so hopeful. My son is 8 and he's already starting to do more and more things. He loves to dance. He loves to play football. And I am just so amazed to see the talent, the saxophone, the signing, the singing, and seeing them get to just shine in the spotlight. It gives me so much hope for what he's going to be doing in another 10, 15 years.
There you go. Jennifer, so how can people find you out there?
Yeah, so you can find us on DSAGR.org. That's our website. Stands for the Down Syndrome Association of Greater Richmond. We're on Facebook. And we're on Instagram at DSAGR321. And you can email me directly at director@dsagr.org. We would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for having me.
On the mic with Mike, we bring you the best and the brightest. That's why I'm out here rocking with these guys today. We got to go. I got to deal with my grandkids because I always say the microphone ain't free. Plus, my wife has stuff for me to do. So we got to go. Take care now.